Boom. All right, business owners. Look, I get it. It is tough to be in peak performance, but if that's something that you're interested in, you're going to want to pay attention to today's episode. Let's get this one started. Here we go.
Shut up and sit down.
Look, a business can give you everything you want in life: prestige, wealth, freedom. It can also take everything away from you. This show is for those who are willing to take that risk. These are the real life stories of entrepreneurs. But before we start, I have one small favor to ask. Please leave a comment. It can be advice, critiques, tips, feedback, or share this with someone because your engagement is the most valuable and most powerful form of social currency. So thank you, and welcome to another episode of Business Bros. Business Bros. He's taken secrets from the military performance labs and transformed them into tools for elite business leaders. From hacking jet lag to maximizing energy on the move, he's changing how executives travel, recover, and lead. So please, welcome to the show, the one and only Mr. Andrew Herr. Now the party can begin. Welcome to the show, Andrew.
Hey, thanks for having me. It's great to be here.
All right, man. Peak performance, straight out of a military lab. It sounds like an awesome sci-fi movie, but and it's funny because this morning I was literally watching Battleship as I was working out. So to talk about peak performance, tell me a little bit about your background. How'd you get started, and what do you mean by helping people reach their peak performance levels, especially entrepreneurs?
Well, sometimes in life you find the intersection of everything you're interested in. One side of my family I got medicine, doctor. The other side of the family I got military, kind of like no shit war hero stuff. And I found a way to do it both in college, and then ended up with degrees in radiation physics and health, immunology, national security policy. And somebody walks into the career center and says, "Hey, we need someone who does biology, national security, and can write." And they're like, "Well, we know this guy Andrew." And I got hired to run studies on the future of human performance for basically like the Secretary of Defense's private think tank. And that was the start of my work in the military space, basically always with the goal of figuring out how to make our soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marines perform better, healthier, come home better, and have an advantage.
Dude, that's a hell of a start. I couldn't even repeat to you the degrees that you got, much less trying to understand what they are. And somebody came in asking for a checklist of what you've already done to get started. I mean, that's a great bump forward. But either way, regardless of whether you start with, a great hand dealt to you in life or you put in the work, you still need to have some sort of vision where you want to go. So you had all this schooling, an opportunity popped up. How does it align with the vision that you've created for yourself? And how does that kind of help with helping other entrepreneurs who might not have the same clarity of vision get there with your product services?
I think the attraction to the military was one of mission. And that really ties all this together. My mission's around the health side of this, but it's health so people can do more. I always say I want people to think, feel, and perform at their best so they can do more for themselves, their families, their communities, for the world. And so whether I'm there to support soldiers, or whether I'm there to support entrepreneurs, whether I'm there to support, a single parent who's flying in to close a business deal, they got, that's putting food on the table or money in their kids' college fund. Like, it's all about this mission of helping people heal or feel good or be able to sustain performance so that they can do the good work in this world.
Now, there's a lot of different places people can go for getting a good workout, getting some therapy. Shoot, I can even talk to ChatGPT and get me some information there. However, your company found it's really differentiating and helping high performers optimize energy, focus, recovery, those sorts of things. How do you set yourself apart from all those other avenues or options out there?
Yeah, I mean, look, this is actually an area that we didn't for a long time, and that makes it hard to run a business. But one thing we found working with executives, entrepreneurs, we were able to bring in high-end clientele because of my background and because of what we offered. But we just saw how travel impacted people's health, not only when they were on the road, tired, not performing as well at meetings, but when they come home and your spouse has been taking care of your kids for a week and needs a moment and hands you the kids. Like, if you're not coming home and feeling good, you're not going to be a great dad or mom. You're not going to be a great partner. And so we saw that travel was this really unaddressed, enormous challenge to people's health. And we've reoriented the company totally around it. It helps that we invented a full cure to jet lag. This is the first true solution to it. We're running like 93% of people can travel Europe, Asia, Africa, Australia, and sleep well their first night. And so, we had this incredible product, and now we're building this travel and health business around it. If you think about the things that make travel hard for your health, it's sleep and jet lag, stress, working out on the road. Maybe you're not used to the gym, you don't know what equipment it is, and it's finding healthy food. And actually, today we launched the first trainer. You can walk into any gym, take photos of the equipment, upload it. It identifies all the equipment, tell it what kind of workout you want, tell it how long you have. Boom, it makes you a workout for that gym you're in that moment. So make working out on the road easy. We have in beta right now the best tool in the world to find healthy food. Basically, you tell it where you want to go, tell it what healthy means to you and your diet and different things. Boom, it finds you the restaurants near you. And it's incredible. It's better than I am at it. And I'm kind of an expert at that. I travel a lot because of his background right now. I'm on the road. So you see what's going on here. And then we have after that, we'll launch a stress and flow coach in the FlyKit app. Basically, I want to make it easy to stay healthy and travel. I want to make it easy to feel good when you're on the road and when you get home.
It's not easy to do that sort of stuff. I know I personally, I work out every day, but if I go on the road, it's not the easiest thing. I might stay at a little motel that doesn't even have a gym, or hopefully I stay at a nice place that does. Eating out, that's even more difficult. Maybe I'll stick to the salad section at a restaurant, or maybe go pure protein or something, but it's not always the easiest thing to do. And I know for the most part, the layman will just say, you know what? When you're jet lagged, just don't go to sleep until it's time to go to bed. You'll be all right. Take a long day. Oh, when it comes to food, just do X, Y, Z. What's the science behind it? How are you helping your clients kind of beat that? I love the example you gave with the gym equipment. Like, take a picture. Let me tell you how much time you have. Cool. That helps the strategy behind it. But there's also kind of is a different vibe that happens, I think, as an individual when you travel. How do you help your clients kind of get their mind right as well as the strategy?
Yeah, absolutely. And so the answer is, one, it's got to be simple, and two, we're going to dial you in, because basically the second you fly, the pressure change in flight in that low oxygen environment, they cause inflammation in the body. What happens with inflammation? Now you've got more anxiety, less confidence, making less good decisions, more likely to want sugar. Jet lag messes with your stress hormone levels, which then affect your, hunger and other things. So what are we doing? We're getting ahead of it for people and making it easy. So, a lot of jet lag solutions, you got to start like days and days before. And like, our clients just don't have time for that. They're busy people and they have lives at home. But with our FlyKit program, you start the morning you leave, and we're giving you supplements and recommendations on when to eat and sleep and do all these other things, and light control that you can do throughout your trip. They're simple to do, and they're blocking the negative effects before they start. So we want to help you get ahead of the challenge physiologically. And then if you're feeling better and sleeping better, you have more reserves, more willpower, you're going to make better decisions, and then you keep that flywheel going. And then it's like, hey, you get to the gym and the threshold is like, do I want to go? Hey, you have enough to get there. And then we're going to take away the blocker, which is like, I don't know what to do now. Because maybe your answer is like, upload a photo with no gym equipment. I actually was just testing the system the other day, and I uploaded the photo of our puppy. I was like, what does it categorize this puppy as? And the answer is, it recognized there is no gym equipment, and it'll give you a body weight workout. So we want to take away start it, get you ahead of it, make it simple, take away the blockers. There you go.
I love that. I mean, the example of being able to prepare ahead of time. I didn't know, by the way, that just having the change in air temperature or in cabin pressure as you go up and down, I didn't know that affects your body like that, where you can start having that inflammation. And I like the idea of preparing ahead of time. I know when we went on a cruise, one of the things they were having me do is take like that motion sickness medication ahead of time prior to the cruise, not the day of. I didn't listen. I did it the day of and I was drowsy. It didn't work out for me. So I know that following these directions preemptively is definitely going to help out. What do you feel is some of the mistakes you see business owners make that cause them to go down that wrong level where they don't have the energy, they don't have that proper sleep? Because you clearly are showing them how they can do it correctly.
So there's a couple things that some of them are, a little clearer, but it's a little bit of a mindset shift. So for example, a lot of people when they fly business class or get access to a nice lounge because they're flying, internationally, like, oh, I want to get, I want to get out my money's worth. I'm going to drink the wine or the whiskey. I'm going to eat all this food. And the fact is that's a sunk cost. You already paid for it in your ticket. So there's no such thing as getting your value's worth. But drinking that wine on that plane, now you're going to double up on inflammation. You're going to decrease sleep quality. And maybe when you land, you're not going to be fresh for that meeting and you're not going to execute. You're going to get outfoxed in those negotiations. Or, basically treating work trips like they're not normal life, meaning like, oh, I don't work out when I'm on the road. I don't watch my diet. It's very common. And again, like it can be harder. And that's our goal at FlyKit is to make all this easier. But this idea that work trips need to be treated differently is also another really, really substantial pitfall. So what do you actually want to do? You want to treat it like life at home, which is like, sure, you might have a business dinner that night, but like finish the meeting at 4:30 if you can, quick workout or whatever you can have. I have a friend who was talking to recently and he's like, man, I was feeling terrible. So I went down to the ice maker in the, hotel motel. This guy was not in a fancy place. Filled up a few of those buckets of ice, dumped it in the bathtub in the room, in the shower, got in and took a quick ice bath. And you know what? He felt way better and dropped some inflammation from his system. And so whatever it is you can do, it doesn't have to be a lot. 10 minutes of air squats and you can be huffing and puffing and get a great workout. So again, it doesn't have to be perfect, but there's an opportunity to take care of yourself on travel. And again, my role is to make it easier, but everyone has it accessible to them because there are simple things you can do.
The simplicity and the consistency of it is really what's going to make that biggest difference. You've worked with different military operators, and we talked a little bit about, working out. It doesn't have to be super intense, but there are some people who do like that intensity. Is there any difference in like the recovery of a workout? For example, you're on the road, it's not as easy. Maybe you do get into the gym, maybe you do have an intense workout schedule. How does the recovery routines kind of translate to the needs of what CEOs and founders are looking for today? Like, I don't mind working out, but do I have enough time? I don't want to be sore the next day, super sore anyways.
Yeah, so actually, because our muscles use some of the same inflammatory pathways to signal for recovery, if you're really hitting those pathways already with kind of the bad types of inflammation, it can absolutely interfere with the gains from the workouts and recovery. And so you can actually double down and be sore or just not recover as fast. And so, one of the things we do is prevent that problem from happening with our FlyKit protocol. But then there are also other simple things, supplement approaches and others you can use. For example, like this is a company that I don't get a kickback for. I'm just going to tell people because it's a great company. It's a great American family-owned company. There's a company out of Michigan called King Orchards. They sell cherry juice in like concentrate in single-serve packs. Now, normally it's best to keep these in the freezer to keep the highly bioactive compounds fresh. But like throw in a couple of those in your bag. They're 1 ounce each. They're TSA like safe, whatever you want to call it. Boom. Have that right after workout. It replenishes your glycogen stores, which accelerates recovery, and the polyphenols and anthocyanins in there dramatically improve recovery. Suddenly, like you can recover from a hard workout 50% or more faster. And again, there's these little tools. Let's make it simple to recover, and that's why the other things we're doing, we'll launch later this year, like the optimal kind of single serve carry-on protein packs to just throw in your bag for travel. You want some recovery protein, boom, just drop it in some water, shake it up, boom, they're like tart cherry packets, something like that. We just want to make it easy, but there are all these tools you can use. But it really all starts, with travel for us. it does really all start with that plane flight that's messing with your system. And by the way, that happens even on short haul flights. It doesn't happen just on like jet lag international trips. And so our fly kit domestic product just coming out next quarter is going to help people with that. And we've been demoing that. We've been using that with a bunch of MLB teams, especially because, with 81 away games every year, they're traveling all the time. And so we are, we work with a bunch of them and help them out. And so they already love that product. And now we're going to be launching it for everyone.
Love it. Love it. Literally was at a Padre game just yesterday. Go Pods, they're 7-0, and then Go Dodgers, they're 8-0. So that our whole division here is doing pretty well at the beginning here. But yeah, you're right. I mean, 160 something games a year, and half of them are on the road. That's a lot of traveling. Now, either way, when you travel, no matter how you plan life is always going to happen, and it doesn't always go according to your plan. So there are going to be times when you're just you are kind of drained. You're an executive. You're out there. Life's still going to happen. Business still got to happen. So you have any tactical ways maybe of helping improve decision-making, specifically when they're tired or under stress or fatigued at all, that can help them make better decisions, even though they're maybe not at 100%?
Yeah, absolutely. There's a couple of tools that are especially valuable, and depends on the environment and how long you have. So one is a type of like meditation, like a yoga nidra meditation that can replenish you and get you back quite fast, even if you don't have time to sleep or nap. You could do this in like sitting in the rental car in the parking lot before you drop into a meeting. Like, again, these are simple things. If you've got a little bit of time for exercise is one of the most powerful nootropic agents. So boom, 5 minutes can get you there. I'm just going to push you on intensity. If you've got a short amount of time, I'm going to try to get you to do essentially like a body weight hit, or, if you have access to a gym, that's great. But like, yes, exercise. We like that. We like some of these meditation, nidra, breath work. And then on the supplement side, depending on what time of the day it is, what your needs are, I might want to give you some cocoa flavanols that increase blood flow, including, up to your brain. Have a little bit of stimulating activity, some natural alkaloids in there that are similar to caffeine, theoxanthines, theobromines. That's a natural way. It's going to give you a little bit more of a boost. But unlike caffeine straight to the head, it actually can decrease your stress reactivity as opposed to caffeine, which can increase it. So using things like cocoa flavanols to smooth things out. And then also, frankly, you just got to be eating more frequently. When like the combination of low sleep and low blood sugar and low fuel is just going to continue to throw you down. And so you got to be eating healthy. The last thing I'd say is we found that split dosing omega-3s, meaning taking some more frequently instead of just a giant dose at once, but taking omega-3s fairly frequently every few hours can actually keep your brain cognitively stronger during low sleep periods, at least for a limited amount of time. And so that's one of the protocols that's naturally integrated into your fly kit plan because of how it works. And then also with fly kit, it's also managing inflammation from flights and other things. So, everything you do with fly kit has multiple benefits, and it's a pretty complicated program. I mean, the first time I developed it, had to type out a whole Word document and then an Excel spreadsheet. And now we got like an AI app that's super slick and works beautifully. But like, it's complicated enough to run out, even for somebody like me who developed as an expert. And so I just love the fact that you can just put it on your phone. It's going to give you reminders, tell you what to do when you need to do it, follow the instructions. You're going to be great.
Dude, it's kind of like having a spouse right there. Just tell you what to do, tell me what to do, when to do it, and I'll get it done.
I mean, let me tell you, this is the best kind of spouse if you're into that.
I'm not going to disagree on that one. All right. How about sustainability? I know that getting a workout when you are not traveling is hard enough, building that consistency, building out that routine. When you're traveling, especially when traveling gets really unpredictable, having a routine is that much more important. So let me ask you, there's all kinds of different types of workouts that we can do. You talked about body resistance, like doing push-ups, sit-ups. You can do Pilates and yoga. You can do weight training. What have you found kind of works best? And I know everybody works out differently. I understand that, but what do you feel kind of works out to get that person back into the mindset that they need to be in, that doesn't completely drain them fatigue wise? Like, I was crazy and I'd run like 6 miles, but I don't know if that's like a normal thing for everybody, right? Like, how do you kind of pick which routine type to go through?
So it's going to depend on your goals. If you're trying to reset, really lower back that inflammation, reset your circadian rhythm, and it's not too late in the day, obviously, like really late in the day, a hard workout could keep you up that night at home or on travel. But if you really want to reset in the morning, I would go for like more of a cardio style workout. Um, if you don't want it to be too hard. If you want it to be harder and then you want to kind of drain your energy a little bit and be good that night, you might go for more of a hit workout, which also is good on the inflammation stuff. And then if it's later in the day and you can't, really amp yourself up because it's like 6, 7 o'clock, and if you work out hard, you're not going to fall asleep that night. That's when I would bias towards either kind of mobility or maybe even a moderate weight training session where you're not, kind of maxing out, but you're pushing some weight. That's great. Your muscles, when you're lifting, your muscles release myokines, release anti-inflammatory compounds that affect the rest of your body. So that's kind of how I think about it, is like, without knowing more, about the person, if you don't want to push too hard, maybe like a zone 2 cardio, get that going a little lower and slower. If you do want to push hard, I love HIIT in the right circumstances, high intensity interval training. And then if it's later in the day, let's push some weights and make sure you get that stimulus for the benefits for your muscles and for, releasing those myokines. But it's not going to, as long as you're not lifting really heavy, it's not going to keep you up as much.
Yeah, it's not gonna make it as big a difference. And then of course the recovery. Make sure you take care of the recovery. It's definitely gonna help.
Eat protein,
Yes.
get what you're doing. Like, don't slam a bunch of pro-inflammatory food afterwards, like French fries after a workout, like aren't gonna help as much. Although people often ask me, like, okay, Andrew, what's the best time to eat dessert then? If I'm like, and the answer actually is after a workout, because your body can soak up those glycogen stores, up the sugar into glycogen. But if you want, like, and here's the thing, I'm not telling you to not be hedonistic. That might seem weird from a guy who's talking about health up here. I'm not telling you not to be hedonistic. I'm just asking that your hedonistic frame include tomorrow. Because there's almost nothing that if you do regularly, let's say every day for a week, and you feel better the next day every day for a week, there's almost nothing like that that's not good for you long term. But even if you don't do it every day, if you're on travel and you want to feel good the next day, don't do it to like be healthy. Nobody cares about their health. Do it to feel good the next day. And that frame can help some people be like, all right, I'm in for that. I want to feel good tomorrow.
I love that. It's the whole idea of discipline, right? I heard somebody say this and it kind of stuck with me. Discipline is making promises to your future self that you're going to be super proud of, right? Like today's version of me is doing something that I promised future version of me will benefit from. And that's kind of the key for discipline. Plus, I heard you say that Twix that's sitting in my gym, if I'm gonna eat it, the best time to eat it is going to be after my workout, not before.
Cardio after a long cardio workout is the best time to eat sugar, because your body has a bunch of empty glycogen stores in the liver and muscle. So all the sugar gets brought in. Also, the cells are better at bringing glucose in after a workout. So if you want the answer, like, I'm in the world of like, let's not get great be the enemy of good. If people want to be great and do everything, like, more power. I love that. We, follow the program. We've got all these tools for you. But if you're not going to be 100%, it's okay. And do the best that works for you. And so I'm always going to give you an answer of like, well, if those are my constraints, the constraints are I'm eating the Twix bar, then here's when I want you to do it.
No, that's perfect. That's perfect. And to be honest, like after the workout, I've looked at that Twix bar quite a bit recently, right? And it's there, but after the workout, I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna go have scrambled eggs or something like that, right? Or blueberries or something like that. You feel different when you're done. Or a steak.
Get yourself a grass-fed steak. Amazing.
Oh, I'm down with that. Usually mine, I don't know if I'm eating steak early in the morning, but yes, I'm down with that either way.
I didn't know we were working out in the morning. Some people.
Yeah, that was me personally. No worries. All right, Andrew, what's one myth, man? One myth about productivity and travel performance that if you had the power, you could debunk like once and for all?
I think the myth for me is that like drinking on a plane to help you sleep is going to make you perform better, or that Ambien gives you high quality sleep. It will knock you out. It is a medical intervention, but the research studies show that the quality of sleep is not good. And a lot of people have a really serious hangover from it, especially women, because it's not sort of dosed for body size always. So I just think like when I think about travel, I'm always thinking about like from the time you get on that plane, those drinking that red wine is gonna put you behind the eight ball for the entire trip. So I'm gonna continue to put that one out there.
I don't disagree with that one. I know we need sleep, but how we get there and the quality of sleep that we get is going to make a big difference. All right, man. So where do you see health tech and personalized performance heading over the next couple of years? How's your company staying ahead of it?
Yeah, I mean, basically, there are a couple of trends that are really important. One, people are caring more about how they feel because they're seeing the current system, the medical system, is not helping them. And they're seeing that the environment, the food, and everything just seems to make everyone sick and unhappy and fat and anxious and just really all these bad effects. So, people are thinking about it and they're willing to spend more money if your things are real.
Mm.
Two, um, there's a lot of cool technology. I mean, building software and building tools today with AI and everything is just allows you to go so much faster. I mean, my engineering team at Fount they're incredible engineers, and they are 10x what they were 6 to 12 months ago.
Mhm.
And some of the products that we're building, like our AI that finds you the healthiest restaurant, you just could not do that. You'd need a team of 1,000 people working for years to do what we can do now. In what our food research agents go out, they read the menus for you in any language, they find the healthiest dishes, they tell you where it is, they show you where it is relative to where you are on a map. Like, this is incredible technology, and we got to use that to help people. And then, I think what's going to happen with the medical system is the big question, because people are realizing that it's not helping them. And if that money flows elsewhere, if there's new models, that's the other big upside down kind of question mark in the thing. But for sure, people's willingness to spend money to help themselves is a big deal. And knowing the system isn't there to help. And then how do we use AI? And the answer isn't to just have it give you a plan. We got to make it easy and smooth for people. So, with our fly kit, we don't just give you a plan and tell you to go to the store and buy the supplements and find the right ones and things you're never going to do. Everything comes for you in a kit. We've got all the supplements. They're all made in the US. They're all tested. They're all, the highest quality. We don't use a bunch of junk ingredients. We're using organic stuff in there. And so, we're just making it easy. But even the blue light blocking glasses, there's a lot of companies that sell blue light blocking glasses, but we've designed ours specifically to have the right tint on them to give you the performance you need for blocking blue light for your circadian rhythm. And at the same time, they don't block so much light that you can't see if it's dark on a plane or in a hotel room. And so we're actually designing not just for, the like physiological performance, but we're designing to make the experience good. And so that's, I think you always got to make the experience good. People want.
Whoop.
Life to.
Yeah, dude. Now, look, let me kind of close out with this. At the end of the day, we are all looking to get a little bit healthier, and I agree with you. Every time I go to the doctor, if there's something wrong, it's almost always going to medical, like some pharmaceutical something, and we're kind of as a society going, I don't know if that drug is the answer. Like maybe I should eat something that was grown. Maybe I should eat something that was alive. Maybe I should be a little more intentional with what I'm doing. And you're exactly right. There are a lot more people out there looking for that solution, a lot more professionals looking for that solution. So Andrew, if people want to reach out to you, if they want to find out more about what it is you do so that they can become high performing entrepreneurs, how can they do that? And what are they going to find?
Yeah, so come visit us at flykit.com, two T's, FLYKITT.com. See the technology we're developing to help make it easy to travel and feel great. And if you have questions for us, absolutely reach out through the website form or find me on Twitter and shoot me a DM. My DMs are open. It's at Andrew Herr Bio, BIO at the end. And I love helping people. I love helping individuals. I love helping companies perform at their best when those companies have great missions. So please feel free to reach out, and would love for you to try our fly kit. And the other beautiful thing is it works so well that if you're one of the rare people who doesn't have a good experience, we just give you your money back. I mean, it's so good that we have no problem offering people the money back guarantee. And also, we're just really proud of it. I mean, we have an incredible team. About a third of our team are prior military service members, special ops members, and we take a lot of care. I mean, you email our customer service line, and a former combat veteran ranger is going to respond to you. Army Ranger is going to respond to you, and he is the nicest guy you'd ever meet in your entire life, and he will take care of your challenges, no problem. And so that's the kind of company we have, and that we care about, and the kind of energy we want to put into the world.
So I'm talking about somebody who actually knows what they're doing. Nicest guy, probably could be the scariest guy too, but he's the guy that's going to help you get in line.
There's stories, but I'll leave those for him to tell.
Sounds good. All right, ladies and gentlemen, look, if you are a professional and executive, someone who goes out and travels a lot, but you want to maintain a good fit, you want to have your mind clear and ready to go for that all-important meeting that's coming up, make sure you take care of yourself. One of the ways you can do that is you can head over to flykit.com. Flykit.com. You just heard Andrew share all kinds of cool stuff. It's not just taking care of you physically. It's not just the plan. It's everything, including AI software, all kinds of stuff to help make it easy for you to stay on track, keep yourself fit, and keep yourself focused. So ladies and gentlemen, one more time, flykit.com, flykit.com. Andrew, thank you very much for being on the program today. Ladies and gentlemen, that's all we got for you guys today. We'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.
Thanks again.
It's over. Go home.
Is your business in need of marketing? Try starting a podcast, but not just any podcast. Podcast like a pro. We can show you how to take your business from being invisible to becoming a brand people trust. Go to www.businessbros.biz to get started.